Welcome everyone. This is the first episode of Trapdoor Basketball. We're so excited to have you, and today we're going to be talking about our 2025 NBA Big Board. If you're looking for a big board that is not chalk like all the other major people are saying, you've came to the right place. We definitely have some risers that you probably haven't heard of, and we're excited to have you. Let's get into it. Coming in number one on my big board will be Cooper Flagg. The wing out of Duke University is poised to be the number one overall pick. Every betting site has him as the heavy favorite. And it's been this way since this time last year when he was on the Team USA practice team. He was in there and he was going toe to toe with top NBA players day in and day out. The only college kid on the roster, and supposedly he was giving everyone the works. Cooper Flagg, the real big things you're looking at with him is the athleticism is number one. He's a phenomenal athlete. He possesses an ability when he is within the paint, he is a threat to put you on a kid's door on a poster. Next is the off the dribble and spot up shooting. He is surprisingly a very good three-point shooter for someone who possesses the natural athleticism and size at his age. A common thing you'll see with other prospects on this board is they rely heavily on the athleticism to score and not as much on the skill. Cooper Flagg does possess that skill to take it off the dribble, as we saw progress throughout the season at Duke, or just spot up and shoot. He's really gotten into the pound dribble, step back three. He did that a lot in the ACC tournament, and that is poised to be a really good tool for him in the NBA with better athletes defending him. Now, the thing that makes him who he is, the thing that has guided him to likely the number one overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft, is the defense. This is a defense that you will get comps to. Is he Scottie Pippen? Is he Kawhi Leonard? Personally, my comp for Cooper Flagg is a Scottie Pippen or Andre Kirilenko. Because of his only weakness that you can really see in his game being his ball handling, I don't feel comfortable giving him that Kawhi Leonard comp. Whereas Kawhi has one of the tightest dribbles in the NBA. Never see the guy get ripped. Cooper Flagg, you've seen in some of his late game, he needs the basket for the game winner. He'll try to hit that spin move he's got, and he just gets ripped for it. And for that reason, that's the only downside. But overall, a great prospect with a high floor and even higher ceiling. Coming in at number two for me on my big board is Dylan Harper out of Rutgers University. The combo guard coming from New Jersey really presents a promise as a great driver. Seeing this man drive the ball throughout Big Ten play, he looked as if he was an upperclassman against first-year guys. He possesses a strength for the position that is unseen at the college level that looks to translate very well to the NBA. The next big thing for him is the amount of range he has on his shot. He is a copy of Damian Lillard in this perspective of he's got volleyball line potential. It doesn't matter where he's at crossing the half court. He is a threat to shoot the ball. Now, one of the big concerns with him that puts him on a second tier towards a player like Cooper Flagg is he is a streaky shooter. That is a really big concern for him, is that he can go off and he can be a microwave, get him in bunches. He also can have times on the court where he's really, the well's dry. You just ain't got nothing coming out. And that's completely normal for someone just graduating high school playing at this caliber in the Big Ten. The next concern is the inconsistent effort. Personally, for me, I chop a lot of this up to he was on a team at Rutgers that hadn't really done anything in recent memory. Him and Ace Bailey go there together as a package deal. The team's not winning, and being such a high prospect the effort just wasn't there due to the environment. I don't believe that will be an issue in the NBA, but that is a big concern overall for many people. Personally, for me, I see his best comp being Cade Cunningham due to their ability to drive and play make. Dylan Harper has one of the better passing games in this draft. Now, he's not up there with Kasparis, but he is in that next tier of passers that will make prolific passing, probably be a 7 assist type of guy in the NBA, and I think he's a really strong prospect and easy number 2 overall pick. Coming in at number 3, I have Trey Johnson out of Texas University. Trey Johnson currently profiles as a primary ball handling combo guard at the next level. His main skill set is his scoring ability. He is an igniter for any offense, can be your number 1 option, and he can come in and make plays for others. He is definitely a floor raiser in that regard of any stagnant offense. You can insert him into any second unit in the NBA right now and get a spark plug. Now, the big concern with Trey Johnson is his defense is lacking. He shows a low level of defensive IQ in regards of he jumps at a lot of inopportune times, can get caught fouling on just really poor risk plays, and while also his rotations are very, very lacking for guys at this level, but the offense is everything you could ask for. The only concern with his offensive game is, does he settle for mid-range and three-point shots where he's shooting above 35% from 3? For him, the closest comp I see in the NBA right now is a Jordan Clarkson. I would love to see him get on a team where he can just go out there, they let him say, you know what, you can make as many mistakes as you need. This year's a wash. We need you to make the mistakes to learn. And I think he can be one of the best scoring threats in the NBA from the guard position in the future. Coming in at number 4, I have VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor University. The 6'4" shooting guard out of Baylor presents one of the best athletes in the class. To go alongside his athleticism, he has a super high motor. He will be a high-level slasher at the next level and presents a lob threat out of the 2-guard position that isn't seen very often in the NBA. For that reason, I think a great comp for him will be Victor Oladipo, just that extreme quick twitch bounce at a high level. Some of his dunks at Baylor really make you wonder, oh my goodness, is this man floating? He's a great athlete, cannot talk about that enough. And his game will only improve once he gets a little bit better at shooting and refines the ball handling. Right now, he's not as much of a playmaker as he is a finisher on plays and just overall final connection to getting a basket. Coming in at number 5, I have Con Knipple out of Duke University. The small forward shooting guard coming in at 6'5" is one of the best shooters in the class, and in my opinion is the best shooter. One of the big things with him is he is believed to have one of the highest floors in this draft. People believe that on the low side, he could be a Luke Kennard, Kyle Korver type of player who just spot up, shoot threes. He can be your floor spacer at a low level, because all the way back from his days in high school, he's been a prolific three-point shooter and showed no signs of that falling off at Duke University. One of the best things about him is also his ability to play off the ball. Being paired up with Cooper Flagg this past year at Duke, we saw him in a lot of off-the-ball situations, and he excelled. He is a great guy in off-the-ball situations, and he's a high-effort player. You can see that on the defensive side, night in and night out with him. He always gives effort, doesn't possess the natural athleticism and just quick feet when on the ball, but off the ball, he's a great defender. On the ball, he does sometimes get blown by, but that is never due to lack of effort. It is sometimes just, he's just not quick enough. That's the main concern with him at the next level. The first insane riser I have on my big board is Jonah Berlinger. Joe Berlinger out of France is a 6'11" center. Now, many people are afraid of his ceiling because of him not being a shooter. He is simply a floor runner, a lob threat, and a rim protector. He best compares to Daniel Gafford in the NBA currently, or a Derek Lively before he really started getting into the three-point shot his second year. I see the athleticism, it's off the charts with him. He does his job perfectly. I think he will be perfect for a team who has a lead guard who really just needs someone to be a threat at the rim when they drive themselves. You know, looking at current teams in the NBA, he's a dream pick for someone like the Los Angeles Lakers, a good lob threat for anyone like a Trae Young or a Luka Doncic. And for that reason, him knowing what he is, and being in that role, I think he can be one of the best guys in this draft, holistically, looking back in a couple years. Coming in at number 7 for me is Jace Richardson out of Michigan State. Jace Richardson, for me, the big thing everyone wants to talk about is his size. The dude is 6 foot tall, and maybe half an inch. Some sites have reported just 6 foot, some have reported 6'1". I do not care about his size. He's big enough. He is a true 3-level scorer. He showed that in one of the tougher basketball conferences in the Big Ten this past year. He has a really good handle on him. He's a 3-level scorer, extremely crafty when he gets under the rim, and he's got to go against all those trees trying to block them. And so for me, the size is a slight concern, but not enough that is greater than any of these other prospects' concern. When I look at him, I see Rip Hamilton. I just see an amazing driver who can stop when he wants, hit the pull-up if he needs to, or get a crafty finish at the rim. And for that reason, Jace Richardson is probably one of my favorite prospects in this draft, and I have him 7. Coming in at number 8 for me, I have Ace Bailey out of Rutgers University. The teammate of Dylan Harper has really fell off some people's draft boards in recent weeks. The latest thing to come out with him has been him declining his workout with the 76ers. Reports are coming out that he doesn't want to meet with teams low in the draft because he's not that kind of guy. He wants to be on a team where he can contribute early and he can really get to be a main part of the offense to reach his full ceiling. Now, if that ceiling is to get hit, it will be amazing. He is one of the best shot makers in this class, if not the best, and it is a beautiful shot too. That does get him into trouble sometimes. Sometimes he thinks he can make shots that he just shouldn't take at that point in the game. You can see a lot watching the tape with Rutgers. He would force up some shots that it's like, man, was that really your best option with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock? For that reason, he's a little low on mine. He doesn't have the ball handling I'd like to see out of someone who looks to be a high-level isolation scorer. So for me, I would like for him to be a little bit lower in the consensus boards. And he also seems to really struggle when there's a defender right on his chest. You saw that in the Big Ten tournament. People really got into his chest and made it just uncomfortable for him, and it looked like it got to him and his ability to operate on the floor. For me, my closest comp I've seen to him so far is Michael Porter Jr. I think that when it's going for both of those guys, it is going and it is beautiful. But when it's not, it can make you want to pull your hair out. Like, he is a great, great player when it works, but can be extremely frustrating for someone to watch or be a part of when it's not having a best day. Coming in at number 9 for me, I have Cedric Coward out of Washington State. The 6'5" shooting guard is one of my favorite prospects in the draft. He's right up there with Jace Richardson for me. This guy came from D3 ball for a couple years, has really, really worked his game and refined it, and I really have great expectations for him. A lot of people have been comparing him to Jalen Williams in recent weeks. A lot, especially after seeing Jalen Williams go off for 40 in the playoffs against the Pacers. But for me, Cedric Coward, the things I look at with him that I really like, he's a great spot-up shooter. You can give him that open space and he hits the shot he's supposed to hit. He also is extremely, extremely tough. As you can see with his just career of moving up and up through the ranks, he does, quote unquote, have that dog in him. That he is great for that, and I love it. Next, he is a great rim finisher. I think that as soon as he gets driving, he is long enough and athletic enough to make almost every basket near the rim. Some of the major concerns with him is that he can be a streaky defender. He will let somebody beat him with the same move multiple times over before he gets caught, and that is something that needs to get cleaned up. And there is some concern too about him being a number 1 option on a team or trying to create his own shot. Personally, for me, I don't really value the shot creating, because I don't believe he's going to fit that role. I don't think you draft Cedric Coward to say you're going to be the focal point of our offense. I see him as like a Chris Middleton in that regard. He is an amazing second, third option to have on your team. Hit the shots he's supposed to. If things get tight late in the shot clock, he can make some good shots for you, but that is not his outright goal every time. Coming in at number 10 for me, I have Carter Bryant out of Arizona University. This wing is the best athlete in the draft, probably. He explodes off the screen watching him. He can enter the NBA, and there will likely still be the Thompson twins as better athletes, and then just very few others. Like, this dude is a legit athlete. He is also a very good shooter. He shot over 36% at Arizona this past year while being a great defender. He will make his hallmark in the NBA for being an amazing 3-and-D guy. My comp to him is Aaron Gordon. I think that he is the athlete to do what Aaron Gordon can do, flying through the air, catching the lobs, be great in that low block area to get a good drop off from a good guard driving. The main concerns with him, though, is that he fouls a lot. His athleticism sometimes gets him in trouble by thinking he can block every shot or steal every dribble, and for that reason, there is some concern there. And the other one, I'm not sure how to feel about it yet, but he had a really low usage rate at Arizona this past year. They had some really high quality players in their system who possessed the ball a lot, and so he wasn't getting plays designed exactly for him like that. If it was he was on a slash, somebody hit him real quick and he just dunked it. But he does have some concerns with, can he be the focal point of an offense while being this great of an athlete? Number 11 on the big board is Kaman Malawach out of Duke University. The 7'1" center is a super intriguing prospect. Some people love him, some people hate him. I'm more in the middle. He's extremely long, he's athletic, and he will be one of the best offensive rebounders from the day he steps onto the court. He is one of the best all-time offensive rebounding percentages in the NCAA, and I see no reason that can't keep up with his size and just natural instinct for getting to the ball on the offensive end. Some of the big concerns for him, though, is he is not an outside shooter. Nobody is going to confuse him with Steph Curry any day of the week with his shot form either. My biggest concern with him, though, is not that. It is that he can be out-strengthened by smaller players often, especially in the NCAA tournament. There were multiple times you saw smaller players who really got into his legs and really moved him around under the rim, and that was kind of concerning. And also, he's a really bad screener, and it is something super small. I don't think it is a huge thing or a hard thing to fix, but with his main kind of realm in the NBA being probably a pick and roll lob threat, he has to get better at screening. He just currently takes bad angles and really lets guys slip over the screen and not make it hard. For me, I view him as Mitchell Robinson. I think that they possess an extremely, extremely similar game, and so for Kaman Malawach, my comparison is Mitchell Robinson. Number 12, I have Thomas Sorber out of Georgetown University. The power forward center comes in slightly undersized for the position at just over 6'9". His best attributes is he is an extremely, extremely physical player. He is the definition of a bruiser at the next level. For me, what I see with him that I love is he is great at sealing off defenders, whether that is him asking for the ball in the low post or if it's just sealing off the extra help on a driving guard. For me, the next high point I see with him is a really pretty mid-range shot. He doesn't use it the most, but he is willing to take the shot. It looks good. He shot a decent percentage from the field with it. And he is also just an outstanding vertical defender. He is the type of defender that you show in ref meeting rooms and say, this is how you attempt to block a shot. It is both arms straight over the head, Nothing fancy about it, but he gets a lot of blocks out of it with that great wingspan. The big concerns with him is that he's not a stretch option at all. He has taken threes in college. He's willing to shoot it, but at this time, the shot just doesn't look like it's there. Also, he's not a great jumper for someone who would kind of be in that bruiser position. He's extremely good with his footwork at getting people in the right position he wants them to be in, but he's not out here flying over people often. For me, the closest comp I see to him is Greg Monroe. I think Greg Monroe is a great comp for him because of that bruising mentality while also not playing a foot and a half above the rim constantly. And so I think Thomas Sorber is going to do really great with a team that wants to run. And then when they need to slow it down, they can, but primarily wants to run. I think Thomas Sorber will be one of the best big man prospects for a high-paced team. Coming in at number 13 is Jeremiah Fears out of Alabama University. The 6'2.5" point guard is one of the better ball handlers in the draft class. He has a really good first step and can really do a great job driving to the basket. He's a creative finisher, and he can do it in a multitude of ways. For me, a lot of people are super high on him. They view him as a top 6 or 7 prospect. Personally, I'm not on that boat. I have too many concerns about the outside jumper is the main concern for me, just due to him relying so much on his athleticism. I don't think he's going to be able to do that at the NBA level. It's a good first step. It is not a great first step. He also is very turnover prone. That is not the biggest concern for me due to he was 18 years old playing in arguably the hardest basketball conference in the SEC. So a lot of that I'm just putting to him being young, figuring it out. And it really did get better throughout the year. He was a great force on Alabama this past year. I see a lot of Scoot Henderson in him. Him and Scoot both, how much money they make in the NBA and their life in general in the NBA will greatly depend on that outside shot, as they're both really good athletes, good handle. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if he develops that shot, but right now I see him as Scoot Henderson. Coming in at number 14, we have Derek Queen, center out of Maryland University. Derek Queen possesses one of the best skill packages of any big man in this draft. He has one of the best ball handling abilities while also having the opportunity to go coast to coast on any rebound that he gets. And when he does go coast to coast, he can finish in a variety of ways. He has great touch at the rim. He has a floater game. He has a decent layup package and can throw it down when he has to. Now, the big concerns with him is that he is an undersized center. He also is a poor three-point shooter, which usually does not pair well for big men. It has worked for some guys in the past, but those guys tend to be more bruisers and less skilled. Given that his game is predicated so much on him having the ball and having the ability to create, having an offense that really allows him to handle the ball, whether it be in the low post or in the face of the game, really will impact how well he does at the next level. If he develops that three-point shot anymore, he can become a great stretch man in the league and can really run some great pick and rolls as him being the ball handler. But right now, he is just an extremely skilled center that puts him in the middle of this draft class. Coming in at number 15, I have Igor Demin out of BYU. The point guard power forward comes in at a staggering 6'8.25" without shoes on. Igor is in a league of his own when it comes to passing in this draft class. No one has a more creative package of passes than Igor does. Igor also is a decent athlete. He's not the quickest by any means, but he's not going to be a complete liability on the defensive side of the ball. The main downside to Igor and what pushes him down to 15 in this big board is the shooting. His shooting is extremely poor, and right now it is a liability. He has to be getting downhill and kicking out to shooters to be effective. But when it happens, it is one of the prettiest offenses to watch. For me, I see a lot of Josh Giddey in his game, and if he ever gets that three-point shot to be more manageable and more of a non-liability, I can see him propping himself up into a high-level floor facilitator, such as Tyrese Halliburton is everything goes right, and with that incredible size, a three-point shot will make the driving easier, which will make the finishing better. So there's a lot of potential with Igor if you're a believer in the shot, but as of now, it is an extreme liability for him. Coming in at number 16 on my big board is Nique Clifford out of Colorado State. The shooting guard, small forward, stands at 6 foot, 5.25 inches tall. Nique Clifford is one of the oldest prospects in this draft, and for that reason has gotten lower on some people's board due to, in my opinion, a false ceiling that is put on older players. You can look at guys like Jalen Williams, Jalen Brunson. They've been able to push past expectations that were given to them because of how old they were when they declared. But from the skill standpoint, Nique Clifford is one of the best three-point shooters in the draft. He's definitely in the top 7. He's a good finisher, and he's extremely active off ball. Watching him his early years at Colorado, he really has developed his ball handling ability, and he really has a tight handle now, can drive without the threat of getting pickpocketed as bad when he first began at Colorado. And I really like Nique Clifford. I think if you put him in a great supporting role, I can see a Desmond Bane with that great three-point shooting that Clifford presents, or I could see more of a Cam Johnson, a high-level defender, just without some of that length. But either way, I view him as a very good prospect. It's just, will the offensive game still be translatable even with going against better athletes? Coming in at number 17, I have Drake Powell out of University of North Carolina. The 6 foot 5.25 inch shooting guard out of North Carolina is an extremely athletic player. He plays with high motor, and he is one of the best catch and shoot options in this draft. His catch and shoot 3 attempts shot 44%. This was an offense at Carolina that did not really live up to the potential of what many people were hoping for, and I believe some of that has hurt him in his draft stock, but I do not put that at his foot. I believe Carolina has its own issues going on right now, but Drake Powell, he's a strong finisher, clearly can shoot the 3 ball well, great motor, good athlete. Biggest concerns with him right now is that he does not command the ball, and he's a poor free throw shooter. The poor free throw shooting to me is a bigger concern because it does lead you to believe, is the 3-point shot, was that just a 1-year leap, or will it be consistent? That is my concern with that. The commanding of the ball, not everyone is made to, pound the ball for 20 dribbles per possession. And I think that is completely fine. He'll be a high-level slasher in the right system. And I think he can be Mikal Bridges. I think he can be a high-level defender with just that overall effort. And I'm really excited to watch him play. And he is number 17 on my board. Coming in at number 18, I have Danny Wolf out of Michigan University. The 6'11" center is one of the most fluid movers in the draft. Given his immense size, he does move extremely well. He looks like one of the best face-up players in recent memories. Him within the 3-point arc, get him ISO one side of the floor, he can really do some great work against almost any level defender. Issue with him that I see is he is an extremely poor free throw shooter. Really wish we could see something better with that, along with his finishing. He is slightly turnover prone in some of these isolation attempts, but for me, I see him as being a Maxi Kleber player in the NBA. I see him, you can put him in the corner on offense sometimes and just have him sit for the open 3. You can have him crash the glass if you really need an offensive board. And on defense, he can really compete with some of the other stretch 5s in the NBA and just have some size on size and moves well enough to keep up with them. Coming in at number 19 is Noah Penda out of France. The 6'8" small forward has one of the best IQs in this draft. Extremely effective on offense, really is good at taking angles that are given to him and creating ones that he wants. He's good enough on the three-point end to hit the open three. He's not going to sit there double cross Hezi you into a step back fadeaway. That's not his game. He's going to sit there, hit the open three, but he is a great switch on defense. You can put him defending any pick and roll, and he can switch back and forth between players. Due to his size, he can guard the big. He's still quick enough that he can keep up with guards. The big holdback for him is that he's not a great athlete. He's good enough, but he's not great. And for that reason, I really see a lot of Nicholas Batum in him. I believe he can be a good enough defensive player that he can do many positions good. I don't ever see him as being a lockdown, but he can be serviceable on the defensive end while contributing on offense by being the open shooter and can hit a shot and make sure he makes the right play with that great IQ. Coming in at number 20, I have Noah Essengue out of France. The 6'9" wing player is a very athletic player in this draft. I really love his aggressiveness on offense. The man is always looking to drive the ball. In transition is when I believe he is the most dangerous, as on defense, he can help with that rim protection. And on offense, he is looking to put someone on a poster at all times. I do not believe that he will make a staple in the NBA being a prolific three-point shooter. Right now, that's the main thing holding him back from being a top 10 overall pick, is that three-point shot. If that ever develops, he will be a great 3-and-D, high-pace type of player. And for that reason, I can view him as Al Aminu. I see him as just transition. He can be everything you want. And on a help side in the defense, he can really help protect that rim if one of your first guys gets beat. Number 21 on the big board, I have Nolan Traore out of France. The 6'3" point guard has an amazing first step for this draft while also presenting an extremely smooth shot. Now, this does work against some of the notion that he is a really poor three-point shooter. And 100% he is on paper right now. His percentages are not good at all. He's in the 20s. But that shot is so smooth that there is good reason to believe, I think, that he will become a good enough three-point shooter. With that quick first step, smooth jump shot, I personally see him as a Jeff Teague in the league. A lot of that hinges on him developing that three-point shot. The defense is okay. It's nothing to write home about. And at times it looks really poor against bigger guards due to his lack of size. But I personally chop a lot of that up too. He is an extremely young player out of France. So I'm hoping that a couple years in the league, he will put on the weight, and that will help his defense rise tremendously, as that is his biggest shortcoming. Coming in at number 22, I have Walter Clayton Jr. out of Florida. The 6'2" point guard really showed out this past NCAA tournament and really rose his stock throughout that time. This man does not care if you are 10 feet away or 6 inches away when defending him. His shot does not change. His contested three-point percentage was almost just as good as his uncontested three-point percentage, and I think that is one of the best traits you can see in a shooter. It shows how confident he is in his shot. He does not change based on the environment or based on the situation at play. He is not an amazing shooter, but he is a good shooter. Now, some of the big knocks on him is, one, he's old. And again, the age thing is not a big deal to me. If you can play, you can play. I don't care at what age you are playing. Next is his size. Staying at only 6'2", he's not going to have this natural ability to do what some other guards can do, like an Igor Demon at over 6'8". So there are some concerns with that from a defensive perspective, but because the shot is so good, that mitigates a lot of the concern for me. I personally see him as a CJ McCollum, serviceable on defense, but can really make his name being a prolific three-point shooter in the catch-and-shoot scenario. Coming in at number 23, I have Kasparas Jacksonis out of Illinois. The 6'5" point guard is an amazing floor general. I really love watching him. He's a great passer, and I think he's a really good shooter. A lot of people are really harping on his current 3-point percentage this past year, and I just don't think that is doing him justice towards his actual 3-point ability. He had a forearm injury for most of the year. If you look at his 3-point percentage, it happened roughly a week or two after Christmas. His 3-point percentage before the injury, he was over 40% from three. So I think he is a good shooter. Now, how much of that is, it was a small sample size of a couple months, could be it, but I do have belief in his shot. It is a pretty shot. Now, my biggest concern with him is the high turnover rate. His turnover rate is, I believe, the second highest in this draft class this year. And so for me, I understand he's young, he's learning, he's trying out new things, seeing what works, and this would be the time to do that. Of course, you would love if he just knew already, but these are young guys, so it's completely understanding that they're still trying to figure out certain things. He's an okay athlete. He is not gonna shock the world with any of his measurements or anything in that regard, but he's good enough that it won't be a hindrance to him in any regard. For him, I see a lot of Goran Dragic, just being able to run the floor at the pace that he wants to, have people in the spots that he needs them to be at, and he can score when he needs to, but overall just running the offense and just keeping the flow going well. Coming in at 24, I have Colin Murray Boyles out of South Carolina. The wing stands at 6 foot 6.5 inches tall. Now, describing his weaknesses really makes him seem like a bad prospect. He can't shoot. He's undersized, and he's not a great athlete. Like, those things right there, that would be the worst elevator pitch for a draft guy you could think of. But there are so many good things that are, you just watch him play and it's like, okay, I can see it. So for him, he's a great defender. He is, in my opinion, the second best defender in this draft class after Cooper Flagg. Kid has a motor like none other, though. He absolutely goes after it. If you get him in the post, he has really good footwork in the post. For me, I see Draymond Green. I see him, because of him being undersized, he's not really a shooter, not really a great athlete, but he's just got it in him. Like, it's just, you just feel that with him, that he wants it more than the guy across from him. And for that reason, he is one of my top 25 guys. Comes in at 24 for me. And I like him. There are some really big negatives, but for me, it's hard to look past the effort and just the defense overall. Coming in at number 25 is probably the most unlikely person I have on this big board, and that's Rocco Zinkarski. Rocco Zinkarski out of Australia is 7'3". The center is huge. He's not your plus 7-footer like Chet Holmgren, who's made out of skin and bone. This boy has some meat on him. And it's not like he's fat or anything in that regards, but he is well put together for his size. And he moves very well for his size. He's going to be a good rim protector, I believe, at the next level. He is without a doubt the most raw prospect in this class, though. You can see where things want to progress for him, but it's really raw. And there are some injury concerns with him that really stopped this past season in Australia for him. But watching him in other pro leagues, granted, they're not to the caliber of the NBA, but there's former NBA talent out there, and he physically moves at a level that other guys in the leagues are not moving at a size that they are not at. So I'm really a big fan of him. I think he is a long-term project. You know, you need to have major concerns about injuries with him, but as a late first round, I think he will be a steal for someone if it hits. For those who don't know, there was a guy on the Pacers named Rick Smits back in the day. That's who I view him as. Super big guy on the court and can hit a mid-range every now and then if you need it. So I'm really hoping that he can get that shot developed, and I think he could be the steal of the class, whereas right now he's kind of being projected in the late second round. I think he could be a home run hit if he stays healthy and he just gets some mid-range. Well, that's going to be all for us today. We went through our top 25 on the draft big board. understand that there are some people in there that are not really talked about as much. Some people probably felt that you would have expected to be higher. So whatever you think, leave us a comment for us. Let us know what you think of it. And we are grateful for having you. Have a good one.